Hi everyone, I'm Sam. Let's play today's mini crossword. It is June 2nd, 2025, Monday, and for today's mini crossword, we'll be playing the one by Christina Iverson, edited by Joel Faliano. Okay, Monday, start of a new week. All right, let's see. One across, filmed by the Coen brothers, set almost entirely in Minnesota, not North Dakota. Is that like what, Fargo or something? I have no idea if that's the movie. I don't know. One down, in shape, fit. That seems to work. Two down, kind of content that might require age verification online. Adult. Three down, baptisms and bar mitzvahs, rites. Four down, cheese that's frequently smoked. Buddha, perhaps. Five down, sounds from meditators. Om. Actually, a pretty beautiful start to the week. Okay, let's take a closer look at these clues. One across, filmed by the Coen brothers, set almost entirely in Minnesota, not North Dakota. I think I pulled this trivia somewhere out of my brain because I've heard of the movie Fargo, never seen it, and I think I must have heard it somewhere. I mean, the fact that it was directed by these Coen brothers, who I've also heard of before, but I don't know many of their other films. But let's see. Fargo, Coen brothers. Okay, it's a 1996 film. Yeah, okay, wait, it's a black comedy crime film starring Frances McDormand, William H. Macy, Steve Buscemi, Harv Fresno, and Peter Stormare. In the film, police chief investigates a triple homicide that takes place after a car salesman hires two dim-witted criminals to kidnap his wife to extort a ransom from her wealthy father. So it's a crime thing, murder, mystery stuff. And they won loads of awards. Okay, so, oh, directed by one of the brothers, but written by both of them. So, directed by Joel Cohen, but written by both Joel and his brother Ethan, and produced by his brother Ethan. So, Cohen brothers film. Okay, but what else have they done? I mean, Cohen brothers. Okay. Oh, this is my first time seeing their picture. Oh, that's what they look like. Okay, never knew. They are known for what other films do they have? Raising Arizona. I think I've heard of it. Never watched it, but The Big Lebowski, also heard of it, never watched it. I think maybe their movies are not my thing. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, also heard of it, never seen it. No Country for Old Men, definitely heard of that one. Uh, Javier Bardem, but I totally forgot that it was a film from them. True Grit, right? That was Haley Steinfeld's Oscar winner, I think. Um, Again, heard of him, never watched it. Inside Llewellyn or Llewyn Davis, or is it Llewellyn Davis? How do I pronounce it? I have no idea, but it's like Llewyn Davis. I think I'm saying it's Llewellyn. Is that how it's pronounced, or am I tripping? Can somebody tell me if inside Lewyn is that pronounced Lewin or Llewellyn? Because for some reason I keep thinking it's Llewellyn, or did I make up that pronunciation in my mind? I actually have no idea. They've also written for other films. Okay, so actually they've done loads, and also they're pretty well known, but I just don't really watch their movies, so maybe they're just not my thing, not my type, right? Okay. Anyway, that was a long, uh, side tangent that I went off on. But yeah, one down, in shape is to be fit, right? Okay. Two down, kind of content that might require age verification online, right? Adult content, because it's mainly for people who are, in some countries, 18 and over or 21 and older. It really depends on what laws your country has for that kind of content. But yeah, basically adult content. Three down, baptisms and bar mitzvahs. Those are like religious rites of passage for people, children, I guess, and then growing up and stuff. So yeah, important ceremonies, right? Four down, cheese that's frequently smoked. I didn't know that Gouda was smoked. I just guessed based off of G, and I was like, okay, what cheese? 5-letter cheese that starts with G. I went to Gouda, and that's all I could think of. But I didn't know that it was frequently smoked cheese. So that's interesting. Five down, sounds from meditators, like when you do meditation, yoga, etc. They always do om too. I know that there's obviously a certain special meaning to what that word is, but I'm not knowledgeable in that aspect, so I'm not going to comment much about it. But that is what usually the sound is, and this clue and this kind of answer is pretty common in crosswords. I've seen them a couple of times now, so But even anyway, I think it's pretty common knowledge. So even if you didn't see it in a crossword, you probably would know this. But yeah, if you see this kind of clue again, like five down, that's the answer they're looking for. Okay, six across, phrase it's tough to translate, maybe an idiom, and that's so true. In translation, idioms, it's very hard to do word for word because a phrase that is popular in one language might be completely like just not make sense in another language, right? Like in my country's language, Malay, what phrase that we have or what sayings we have just wouldn't make sense even if you translate it word for word. It just doesn't make sense. So you'd have to translate to something that is approximate in your language. Like if I'm talking about a person who's lazy and I have a phrase for that, you have to find a phrase that also means like a lazy person or something like a lazy person in your language and then translate it that way, because that way it's easier. It makes more sense culturally. You kind of like match it that kind of context, right? Not just like word for word, like da 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 da, because then it just wouldn't make sense. Like, what does that mean? We don't have a saying like that. So yeah, idiom. 7 across, skirts often worn with pointed shoes. So these pointed shoes are the ballet shoes that you see, and these are tutus, the skirts that the ballet performers wear. 8 across was in front. So the past tense of it is led, right? So you were the leader, you led, so you were in front. 9 across, org, now checking for real ID. So organization and org for short. So you want an answer that is also shortened. So TSA, I think it's what, travel security somebody. Well, what is TSA actually? I forgot. I saw this before, but I forgot. No, it's transportation. Sorry, it's not travel. Transportation Security Administration. I can never remember this. It's very. I think it's TSA is only in America. They don't call it TSA anywhere else. Yeah, so I think TSA is very U.S. Organization, right? In terms of looking for like travel and stuff, like checking your IDs, make sure you're legit before you fly off somewhere. Okay, yeah, so very interesting puzzle today. There were a couple of definitely very trivia ones, like Fargo. If you don't know that one, you're gonna struggle to fill this in. Gouda as well, I suppose, unless you can think of a 5-letter cheese, and no problem for you. If not, you're gonna struggle with this bit. I can foresee that. But yeah, let me see. I would say that I think today's grid going down is much easier than going across. Just because I've one across is a little bit tricky, but yeah, it depends. I mean, sometimes you can do a mix of both, like how I did with one across, and then I did the rest of them down because I felt like the one across helped a lot in giving me the first letter for each of the 5 down clues. So that really helped me and gave me a pretty good time of 25 seconds. So yeah, that was today's mini crossword. Let me know in the comments if you liked the clues. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.